Everybody on the startup team, thank you for getting everybody ready. Hey, hello, hello. Oh, we have more and more people coming in. Great. Good to see everybody. Good to see you all.
There's Ann.
Yay. We got everybody. They're coming. Here they come. Wonderful. Wonderful. Good to see you all.
Here comes Mr. Hicks.
Here I am. I'm so sorry I'm late.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay, you ready to take over now?
Yeah. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our Fayette Democratic Women's Meeting, our general membership meeting for members and guests. Today, we're celebrating a woman's right to vote, 100 years of power, from August 1920 to August 2020. And we want to begin by saying congratulations to Senator Kamala Harris, who is the Democratic candidate for Vice President of the United States. Would you all please mute yourselves because we have an announcement that we're going to have before the Pledge of Allegiance. And Sarah, in case you're quiet, if you'll do it really loud so they can hear the announcement.
If you can hear me, just give me a wave. Nope.
A little louder, please.
I'm sorry, I had technical issues this morning.
We can hear you better now. Just keep going.
Okay.
Yay!
The minutes from July meeting are posted in the chat room. So everybody please go to chat room, members, and download the minutes for review so that we can approve them later. Were you able to hear me? Okay.
Gotcha.
There's instructions in there, so please go to chat and download your minutes.
My chat is blank.
What'd she say?
Heidi said her chat is blank.
Yes,
So
mine is
says
as
mine.
well. This is Stella, but now they're coming in.
Scroll all the way up to the top.
Janice says that hers is blank as well.
Yeah, it's on mine and it's at the very top. It was the first thing that was added at 12:46 p.m. So go all the way to the top.
Could it be because we weren't maybe logged in at 12:43 that we can't see it?
I believe so. This is Keith. I can't see it either.
Can you redo it, Sarah?
Yeah, go try it.
Repost it.
It's at the bottom.
There it is.
It says
General
file.
minutes?
It should say FDW Gen Member Minutes, 718.
It says a file on there. At the bottom of the chat, it says file. You need to download it.
Got it.
Where it says download, click that word, download.
Yeah, I did.
And are you able to open it now after you download it? And depending on what device you're using, if you're on a cell phone, sorry, we'll have to get to you later. But if you are at a laptop, you'll probably be able to download it. Not sure about Chromebooks or iPads, but if you're on a regular desktop model or a laptop, you should be able to open that.
And it may go into your Finder. It may go into your downloads. You may have to look for it.
You know, Susan, what's been popping up on my screen is waiting room constantly. And so I'm not sure what's going on.
And
I'm,
if you could,
uh-oh.
and if you could,
I should have waiting room, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. And her, oh, I know. Here's the problem. Okay, co-host. There we go. And I just made you co-host. I just got a note from Beverly Thomas who said she can't get in.
Okay, we're working on it.
Okay. Um,
we're just going to give people
Arlene,
another minute to see if they can find the minutes in their chat.
Perlene,
Oh.
could you send to Beverly Thomas, could you send her the passcode? Please,
Okay. I'm
Just
going to
got it.
ask Chandra if you can do that for me, please, because I'm going to keep going with the meeting.
Okay.
So rather than have me stop and hold everything up, and I really don't want to do that because we have two wonderful guests who are going to be giving us some very valuable information today. Chandra, if you can, reach out to Beverly Thomas.
Yes, ma'am.
Help her. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. Well, again, we've called the meeting to order, and now we're ready for our Pledge of Allegiance. And we're going to be asking our secretary, Sarah Cookson, if you can lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Certainly will. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
loud and clear.
Great. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty for all. Thank you. And justice.
Thank you.
And justice.
And thank you so much. Well, as if you were here right at the beginning, you heard us say we're going to move the reading and approval of the minutes to a later portion of the meeting to give everybody a chance to look at that if they would like to, if you were able to catch it. If you are on a cell phone or some other device where you cannot reach the minutes, we'll make sure that it gets to you at another time. But again, thank you so much for coming out this afternoon and sitting in front of another Zoom meeting. For some of you, this is probably your second or third Zoom of the day. Hopefully it's not your fourth or fifth Zoom of the day, because sometimes it happens that way. We're going on to correspondence, and I believe we have one piece of correspondence. Sarah?
Yes, ma'am, we do. We got a lovely card from Vicki Butler. I don't know if you can see it. Vicki has done a good job with her campaign pieces, and she says, to the Fayette Democratic women, thank you. Your generous contribution and support is greatly appreciated. All the best, Vicki, the right woman with the right experience.
Any other correspondence that anybody's aware of? Okay, we're going to go on now to introduction of guests. Are there any people who are with us today for the very first time? You're not a member, but you were invited by somebody. If you found us on the internet or Instagram or Facebook or wherever, if you are a guest, if you'll just wave your hand, so we'll know that we have some guests present, and we'll give you a chance to just say hello. Do we have any other guests who are with us for the first time? If you'll unmute yourself and just say hello. Anybody who's with us for the first time?
I don't see anybody, Perlene.
Okay, then we're all family. We've all been here before. That works for me too. Okay. And later in the meeting, if there are any candidates who show up, we do want them to also say hello and just introduce themselves and give about a 2-minute, we call it the elevator speech. So if there are any candidates, if you will please enter your name in the chat so we'll know you're here. Any candidates who are present today, put your name and the office for which you're running. Put that in the chat as well. And we'll make sure that you get 2 minutes to introduce yourself to all these wonderful voters, because these are the people who will definitely be out there voting. Okay, moving on. Our next on the agenda, we have the officer reports. And as president, I have the distinct honor of going first. Just so you know, we've given ourselves a 3-minute time limit because we don't want to go too long, and we want to make sure that we have plenty of time for our guest speakers. So as the president, I just want to report on two little quick tidbits. The first is our new Jim Crow Mass Incarceration in the Age of Colorblindness book discussion group is currently working on its action plan, and there are two items that we've identified. One is district attorney, working with presenters to try to encourage more fair exchanges and getting a better handle on what is the role of a district attorney. And the second is finding ways to collaborate with our community stakeholders and partners. So that's where we are. And today, if you came early, you noticed that we're also trying to take advantage of our new and emerging technology specialist. So we've had a team helping launch today's meeting. Our August host was Susan Sampson. Our co-host for the waiting room is Ann Herzog. Our co-host for the chat is Stella Owens-Morell. And our co-host for screen sharing is Chandra Wright. And our co-host to help out with all things wonderful and making sure the meeting is secure is Nye Gentry. And that's the end of my report. The next report is from our first Vice President, Susan Sampson.
Happy to see you all here. Thanks for joining. That's it.
3 minutes or less. You can't ask for better. Thank you. Next, second Vice President, Nye Gentry.
Good afternoon, ladies. Let's talk all things membership. First of all, you ladies still rock. In the era of COVID, we are still moving along. This is our update for the month of August so far, as of August 15th today. We picked up one renewal this month, which makes our total numbers as of this date 129 paid members. Broken down, that means we picked up 38 new members and 91 renewals. So ladies and gentlemen, just to let you know, the good news of it is FDW ended year 2019 with 124 paid members, and we're a little over halfway through the year, and we exceeded our last year's numbers on top of being in a pandemic. So give yourself a hand for that. That's a big deal. Now, moving along, wanted to update you guys and ladies on a few things. We ordered 250 of the following cards to be mailed out to our body. And this is the way the cards look, ladies and gentlemen. That's the information we want to get out as soon as possible. The flip side of the card is for address and a little note. The cards are on its way to me now, and would love to have you guys participate in sending these cards out to anyone who you may either think is interested, some of our current members and some of our non-paid members as well. So those are on the way. They should be here, let's say within 3 to 5 days. We have updated our membership application. And once I get off of stage, I'm going to attach the new application into the chat for you to download and print off and pass on to a friend and have them mail in a check, because we're doing some good things here. We're in a crucial time, so we're trying to get as much money and participation in as possible. We're in the process of updating our online application, and you'll see the changes as you go click through that at another date. Our clothing drive to help to assist the Heartburn Foundation has been postponed until further notice due to COVID-19. Our membership committee will be collaborating with PAC and the card writing team to help with projects. So membership and card writing is going to assist PAC with their card writing and note writing endeavors. And I do have an ask and a need. We are in need of additional volunteers for our card writing team. We will make all the necessary arrangements to get supplies, postage, anything you need for you to help us. So we are in need of card writers ASAP. As you see, my contact information is listed below. If you have any questions or want to leave your contact information for me, you can send me a chat. Just you don't have to send it to the total group here, ladies and gentlemen. Just click on chat, look for my name, and send me a private message, and I'll be glad to accommodate you. So any questions, comments, or clarifications, put it in the chat. I will have the new membership application uploaded in just a moment. And ladies and gentlemen, that is my time. I appreciate you. Again, my name is Naima Gentry, and I'm your FDW Membership Chair. Back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Our next report is from our treasurer, Carolyn Edwards. And I know she has something that's going to pop on the screen. You need to unmute yourself, Carolyn. Thank you.
Okay. Am I screen sharing yet? I don't. Okay, great. Hi, everyone. This report is for our July period of July 6th to August 6th. And as you can see, membership, new and renewals, $291.84. We had a wonderful donation from a non-member of $242.45. And we had one donation for the 2020 fundraising. So our total income for this period is $632. Moving right along down to expenses. As you can see, we support, well, the check cleared our account for this period from candidate Candace Aaron, who is running for the Board of Education. We had some expenses for some voter cards from Eva, Elections, Voted, and Appointments, and coming down to marketing, who is our big heavy hitter. As you can see, it's for the website maintenance, MailChimp, and Canva. And of course, MailChimp and Canva, that's part of our communications, our tools. Our Program and Activities Committee. Most of you already know about the town hall and policing and racism that our Program and Activities Committees supported, and they were considered co-sponsors for the tune of $200. And our final support for the Fayette County Democratic Headquarters, which was $1,500. So our total expenses for this period of July, $2,689.98, and our ending bank balance as of August 6th, $14,273.90. And I'm submitted this for further audit. Are there any questions regarding this report or comments? Thank you for allowing me to serve.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Madam President, before we go on, Naima has attached the updated membership application. It's referenced in the chat.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. We're going on now to our standing committee reports. And the first one up is Programs and Activities, Dawn Opara and LaChance Roberts. Not sure which one. Oh, LaChance.
Okay, I'm going to present, and thank you so much, Perlene, and good afternoon, everyone. I do have a share screen, and I want to bring that up to you. Let's see. Can everyone see that? Okay, good enough. The Program and Activities Committee for September and October will continue to host speakers and programs which provide special opportunities to inform and to educate ourselves, our voters, our community about what each of us can and should be doing individually and collectively to get out the vote. Hence, our guest speakers and programs are in direct counter to the clear and present danger of misinformation, unfounded allegations, attacks on mail balloting, and all other blatant efforts coming from Trump and his allies to subvert and suppress the vote. So that you can see for today, our guest speakers, Cristina Andino and of course, Darryl Hicks. They will be introduced by one of our members, Cheryl Cork. Coming down to September, we're looking to Mr. Leonard Presburg. And of course, you can see once again that we are looking to getting out the vote. His topic, voting in Fayette County. He's going to give us the who, the what, the where, the when, the why. It will be a comprehensive presentation, and his focus is listed there. He will be looking to the different districts, the voting periods, and of course, state and federal elections also. For October, we are looking to 3 of our cities there, not only in terms of Fayetteville, but we want to know what Peachtree City and our neighboring Tyrone community is doing. We have, again, suggested several questions that we would like them to focus on, and they are listed there. And then, of course, for November, because the elections will be done and we will be celebrating, I know, ladies, but we want to invite all of our local candidates to come in and speak to us. And you can see our topic there, win or learn. We want to hear what they have to say. And we have borrowed that statement from Nelson Mandela, who said, and I quote, "I never lose. I either win or learn." And we want to learn from our candidates. We want to be able to support them. And of course, we want to hear what they have to say and congratulate them just for being in the running. And finally, for December, it is our FDW annual retreat. We are presently putting together the program for that event. And I am hoping that when we come back in September, we will have the details for you. Thank you, Madam President, and I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Thank you so much. Next, if there are no questions, if you have a question, please enter it in the chat and we'll try to get to it for you. Our next report will come from Political Action, Chandra Wright and Stella Owens Morell.
All right, there we are. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. I was talking to myself. Okay, so we're just going to go through some of the things that we are just trying to reinforce very quickly so that we can get to our guest today. Just to reiterate that we are now beyond the runoff date and we are moving towards our registration deadline, everybody. Please, as you are encouraging people to register to vote, let them know that they have until October 5th to do that. Let them know also that early voting is scheduled to begin on October the 12th, that we have our Saturday voting on October the 24th, and then we all are waiting with bated breath for November the 3rd. So those are the dates that we're asking everybody to keep in their mind. Everybody, I am sure, has been watching the news in horror as we are taking a really good look at criminal behavior full frontal. The post office is under attack. Democracy is under attack. And we're not going to stand for it. And I know all of you are standing with us on that. We're not going to take it. We will win this election. But in the interest of trying to get ahead of the game, FDW, FCDC, and every other Democratic organization in Georgia they have a game plan. And what we are asking you to do is request your absentee ballots. Now, FDW has a deadline, ladies. We want everyone to have requested their absentee ballot by August the 31st. How can you do it? You can go to my voter page. The website is on the slide, and we will also enter this into the chat. You can go to georgiademocrat.org/vote. You can pull it up there, and you can also contact the Voter Protection Hotline. Ladies, it's serious. I am begging you, request your absentee ballots today, this weekend. Get it done. And then, in the interest of trying to make sure that we understand that we are tracking, our membership, we're asking you not only to request your absentee ballots, but we're saying, hey, look, pull 5 people along with you. And we are going to we have a contest going, and we really want you guys to get into this, and we're going to have a little something for you at the end. So look, I need for you, the person we are looking for the person who puts a comment in and says, hey, look, I've gotten 25, I've gotten 30. We're looking for that extra person who takes it to another level, all right? But for the rest of us, just give 5 people. And we're looking to get 90% of FDW membership having requested their ballots by August 31st, 2020. Check in when you have met this absolute call to action, ladies. There's a Survey Monkey survey you can fill out. It is 3 questions. That's how you get to it. That will also be placed in the chat. Go out there. Tell us who you are. Tell us that you've done it. We are tracking, and we're looking to get at least 90% of us who have done that by the end of this month. We only have 2 weeks left, ladies. Let's get busy. Just wanted to throw this map up again to kind of let you see where our candidates are going to be serving, those areas. Know that we have candidate conversations coming up, everybody. We had a wonderful conversation with Fred Rovner last night. He was just spectacular. And we are looking to have more of these where we have just kind of very casual sit down opportunities with candidates to ask them questions, to have them to tell us who they are. Please support this, members of FDW. Please come out. Please see what these candidates have to say. Ask your questions, and then most importantly, share that information with your friends and your families and your circles of your circles. So anyway, William Harris, we are going to be hosting a candidate conversation with him on August the 28th at 7:00 p.m. You will be getting details on that via e-blast and emails. Vicki Butler will be joining us for a candidate conversation on September the 11th at 7:00 p.m. And Jill Prouty is going to be sitting down with us to talk about her platform on September the 18th at 7:00 p.m. Details will be in your email box and on social media and on our website. So you'll be able to get that information, everybody. Okay, moving along. Okay. Yeah. Don't you just hate it when stuff does not work the way it's supposed to? Okay, there we are. All right, so we have some training that's coming up, ladies. Oh my goodness, no. Where is that? Oh my gosh. Okay, exit. All right, let's go back to this. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so we have some training that is coming up. We are going to be giving just some basic Zoom training to our Get Out the Vote team. So everybody, that information, again, will be in your email. If you have questions about it and you want to call me and get how do you register, just give me a call. But that's going to be Monday from 5:30 to 6:30. There are going to be some prerequisite work that we're asking you guys to do, but if you want to learn just how to do the basic Zoom stuff, get on the call and know how to control a few things, come talk to us on Mondays. Register and come to this training at 5:30 to 6:30. And we also will be having some, hey, so you want a phone bank. This is what everybody was asking for. Doing a little bit of role play, understanding how the system works. That's going to be held on August the 19th from 12 o'clock until 1:30 p.m. Again, this is all in an effort to make sure that we are all comfortable and able to do the things that we need to do to get out the vote. So show up, members of Get Out the Vote. So last slide. Let's just do this. Let's get it done. We are all political action. All of us, the whole entire organization. And we cannot do it without you. This is the election of our lifetime. If we fail, this is going to have an impact on us, as you know, for just decades to come. So come and help us to do it, ladies. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I want to congratulate all the officers so far and the committee chairs who have been so cooperative, and you've stayed within your 3-minute time limit because we're moving right along. And next is our fundraising chairperson, Connie James.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. We're going to talk about 3 initiatives going on with the fundraiser committee. First one, we'll start off talking about the canned goods donation. Just take a brief moment to talk about that, and then we'll move into the 2020 initiative, and then we'll finally end with the vote mask donation slide. So just briefly, just right now, don't pay a lot of attention to that. We're going to come to that one. But first, we're going to talk about just the fundraising committee completed its volunteer initiative for donating canned goods and non-perishable foods to the Fayette Samaritans. We did that on August the 6th. It was a tremendous success. Thank you, members, for your generosity, because it was you really showed up and showed out. And I thought that we made a very good showing, and I'm sure that the Samaritans will be putting that to very good use. Those donations are very much needed during COVID-19. So at this time, Laris is going to talk a little bit about the 2020 for 2020 initiative.
Next slide, please.
Yes.
Is that the right slide?
Yes.
No.
Okay. No? No?
Oh, which one? Okay.
2020 for 22.
The FTW 2020 fundraiser?
Yes.
Can you
Yes.
hear me?
That's the one.
That's it.
No. Next slide. I don't see that one. That's not what's on my screen.
Oh, boy.
It was on previously.
Oh, does everyone see fundraiser donate $20.20?
No.
Raise your hand if you can see it. Just wave at the.
So, Laris, if you
Okay. I will start talking about the 2020, although I don't see it, okay?
Okay.
All right. Due to the COVID-19 and for our safety, all of our regularly scheduled fundraisers had to be canceled. However, the FTW is committed to electing Democrats in 2020, and we have a winning Biden-Harris ticket, and we have several outstanding Democratic candidates at all levels, and they need our support. So your fundraising committee has been working on 2 initiatives that I'd like to talk to you about. On August 6th, we kicked off the FTW 2020 fundraiser with the slogan, "Let's make good trouble and ride the blue wave in 2020." We established a goal for today, August 15th, to reach a goal of $2,020. As of this morning, thanks to your generosity, we're at $42.43, excuse me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We still need $1,278 before midnight tonight to reach our target. So if you've not already done so, we ask that you go to the FTW website today and donate to the 2020 fundraiser. The information is on this particular slide. You're not limited to $20.20. You may donate $120, $220, any amount that you can. Help to make good trouble. We ask that you note that the fundraiser continues beyond today. However, we would like to reach our target. So please, please, please ask everyone in your circle of support to donate. Thank you, and I'll turn it back over to Connie.
Thank you, Laris. So let's talk a little bit about our second fundraiser we are launching today is the FTW mask fundraiser. And our slogan for this one is mask up and support the blue wave. We have designed 2 masks specifically with each of you in mind. They are navy blue in color with white lettering and of high quality. They are 3-ply material. They meet all of the CDC standards for safety. And it also has a nose wire inserted in it for comfort, and are washable and reusable. We have 2 designs that we have that we will be offering to you. The first one has just vote on it, just VOTE in large letters. And we have those available. And we will also have another mask that will say vote. And at the very bottom in small letters, it will have FDW on the side. They are reasonably priced, and you can purchase one for $12.50 and 2 for $20. What a great deal. The purchase one for yourself, and you can purchase one for a friend or purchase many. It's your choice. They are going fast. They're very limited. We only have 100 at this time, and I can tell you about almost half of those have been sold. So please put your order in immediately. We ask that you pre-order as soon as possible after this meeting. Now we have we will be posting the pre-order application on our FDW website. So if you will complete that, that would be great. And once you complete it, be sure to note, go to the immediately when you fill out the form, you then go to our website to pay for the mask. And be sure to, on the special instructions, put mask fundraiser so that we'll know exactly where the money should be going. So after that, we will, you can email your information to me, Connie James, at ConnieJames0804@yahoo.com, or you may email it to Laris Marks at larismarks@yahoo.com. That will ensure that we're getting your orders much faster and that we can take actions on them immediately. They are not ready yet for distributions. They will not be ready for distribution until the 1st of September, which is why we're trying to get the pre-orders in so we can see exactly what the demand will be. You can just go to our website and click the donate button in the upper left-hand corner and just follow the prompts. You can donate by PayPal, credit card, or debit card. And be sure to add that special instruction mask fundraiser. Now we're going to try to, when we send the notification back to you that the masks are available, we would like for you to come by the FCDC headquarters at 185 Cathy Avenue, Fayetteville, Georgia, to pick the mask up. Now we will mail them upon request, but we would prefer that you come to pick them up if possible. It would just be, we'll do it safe, socially distanced. It won't be a problem. So we ask that you do that. More information will be available on the website, as I said, and also you may reach out to me, by phone at 770-315-8567, or email me, of course, at cjames0804@yahoo.com. I don't think we have many. Are there any real questions real fast? I'm not sure if my time is up yet.
I think it is, but we've got a lot of good information out here, so we're very excited. Okay. And I know I'm ordering 2 masks.
I know.
Okay.
Hey,
that's
Connie?
what I've been hearing from everybody, at least 2 masks, and some people are saying 6 masks.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to go very fast, so please don't hesitate. Get your order in immediately.
We have a question from Chandra.
Yeah, Connie, I just wanted to let you know that I did place the order form in the chat for you, so everybody can download that order form today.
Oh, right.
And I'm getting 6. I love them. Okay, I'm behaving, Madam President.
Okay, okay, all right.
Thank you.
Please do
Thank
so
you,
and help raise money for our candidates. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Madam President?
Yes.
Before you get to marketing, there was a question.
Oh, okay. Sure.
And it should be answered today with Darryl Hicks. And that was the question of what the Board of Elections was doing, setting up drop boxes and what locations, et cetera.
Well, I'm sure Darryl will handle that when he gets his time for his presentation. But we're now ready for our marketing and publicity. And while we're
Hello,
waiting for that one
ladies.
to start, anybody who has a question for either Darryl Hicks or Cristina Andino, please put the questions in the chat, and you will have an opportunity to hear the answers to most of your questions, if not all of the questions, when they give their presentation in just a few minutes. Marketing and publicity, Owen Mitchell,
Yes.
Kisa Wilkie, and Karen Rand.
So good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to quickly go through our overview report that was submitted. Marketing has worked with PAC, and we are very proud of them with candidate conversations. On the back end, it was a seamless process, and so we're really excited about future candidates. I'm just going to go ahead and piggyback what Chandra said. We really do need you guys to come out and register and support it, because it is a rich discussion. It definitely educates voters, and it is something that's presented by the Fayette Democratic Women. If you are interested in just seeing what it's about, we have downloaded the Zoom recording in the chat, so you can go ahead and listen to it and review it today. It'll also be on our social media. Next, in July, as you already know from listening to all the other committees, marketing tries to assist as much as we can with a lot of the efforts that are going on, but we are now laser focused on the next 80 days and getting Kamala and Biden elected. So that's going to be our primary focus. And our educational e-blast series, we are going to be working closer to make sure all of our thought leaders in FDW, all of your writings that you do and you present, they will also now be housed on our website. And Chandra talked about the training that they'll be doing for Zoom, but we also have a Canva one-on-one for FDW that we will be setting up. So if you want to learn how to do the basics in Canva so you can be independent, we will be hosting that as well. Karen is on the call, so she'll probably give you a little more information about the website redesign, but we did make a selection. So I don't know what else we may need before we go live, but when we go live, we definitely will be announcing it. And as far as the social media postings, we just ask again that you support the Fayette Democratic Women and make sure that you like our Instagram, Facebook, we are on Twitter, and we now have a LinkedIn page. So go out there, like us, and support us, and that way you can always be in the know with everything that we're doing. And that's all that I have. Keith or Karen, do you have anything else?
Nope, I think we're good. Thank you, OEN. Karen?
Oh, good.
Okay, well, I would just say hello, everybody. The website, I've been working with the different committees to get information updated on there in different sections. OEN has been asking folks to write articles for the newsletter, so we're going to end up putting those into the website as well, maybe in a new category that's not just news because it's original content. And if you recall, back when in one of our last meetings, I think it was the one where we learned how to use the vote machines, we tried to encourage people to write articles so we could start to be thought leaders in the marketplace. We haven't put those out into the rest of the e-sphere, but at least within our community, we'll have that. So, you know, all those kind of things are slowly getting added. This new version of the front page, just the home page, to make it more user-friendly and desirable for the different segments we're trying to reach, and make it more interactive and more impactful in the way that the information is given. And we're trying to gather up. I want to call on all of y'all. If you have taken pictures since the beginning of the year, either at meetings or at events that you've been to, or phone calling sessions, or whatever you've been doing, that you have pictures of you and other members, particularly if you have them with our t-shirts on, please send them to me. You can send them to Karen Rand at Gmail, or you can send them to the Fayette Democratic Women email, FayetteDemocraticWomen2@gmail.com. And so we can start looking through this, because we're looking for about 3 or 4 really good, impactful our pictures, so we're not using stock pictures to put on the main page. So keep you posted on that. Thank you, everybody.
Great. Thank you so much. Before we go on to our ad hoc committees, I want to make sure that you've had a chance to briefly look at the minutes so we can have approval of the minutes from the July meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes from the July meeting? Any additions or corrections? I'm looking at the screen. Okay. Then do we have a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
So moved.
And that was Portia Shields, for the sake of our minutes. She made the motion. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Marion Crawford, thank you. All in favor, if you are a member, just raise your hand. That would be good for us. And we're going to look at the screen and see if we've got the majority, which is just what's required. Thank you so much. And some of you have gotten fancy and you know how to do the reaction, so you've given us a thumbs up. Thank you so much for showing what you know. All right. Thank you so much. And thanks again to our secretary. Thank you to all the committee chairs who did such a wonderful job in spite of COVID-19. So, hey, we don't quit. We just keep coming. Our ad hoc committee reports, we have our nominating committee, Portia Shields. I saw Portia. If you'll unmute yourself.
Good afternoon.
Thank you.
We have 3 offices open: Assistant Treasury, Second Vice President, and Secretary, because the people who are in the positions now cannot run again. Their time is up.
First,
we have met.
Portia, I'm sorry. First Vice President, not Second Vice President.
Oh, I'm second.
First Vice President.
Yeah, First Vice President, Assistant Treasurer, and Secretary. I have submitted my report. So, is that it?
Yes. Thank you.
All right, what I've done, we have 5 members of the committee that already have decided that they will support our efforts. I have sent them a complete roster. I'm asking them to get together next week to make recommendations for people to run. We have LaChance Roberts. We have Sarah Burton Hughes. We have Lena Snow. We have Ann Sutton. Are there any questions?
Okay, I don't see any hands up. Okay, thank you, Portia, for that report. And ladies and gentlemen who are members of FDW, please know that any member is eligible to run for any office. So if you want to nominate yourself, please get in touch with Portia. If you want to nominate someone else, please get that person's approval first, because we would hate to have the committee calling people who are going, no, not this year, not this year. So if you're going to nominate someone, please ask the person first if they agree to be nominated. And the elections will be held in November. Okay, thank you again. And we hope that we will have a wonderful slate of candidates, and we know we will, because there's some great people out here. Next, under our ad hoc committees is FCDC, and Bill Grable told me that Carolyn Flood is going to give the update today. So Carolyn, I know you're with us.
Yes, I am. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. I just have a couple of announcements. One is to make sure that you are able to watch all of the festivities this coming week for the Democratic Convention. They start Monday and go on to Thursday. There are a lot of exciting things happening, and there are some speakers, and so we just want to make sure that we have a large viewership. The other is our telethon fundraising event. It is a major fundraiser for us. It starts on Friday from 4 to 7 p.m. and Saturday from 10 to 6 p.m. And if you're interested in participating in that fundraiser, then would you call headquarters and let Michelle know so we can make contact with you. And the other thing is we're doing a weekly phone banking. We've moved it to Wednesdays from 4 to 6 p.m. And again, if you would like to get involved with that, we'll be phone banking weekly until and all through this month through October, up until the end. Halloween night will be phone banking. And again, call HQ and let Michelle know about that also. But thank you. Have a good afternoon.
Thanks, Carolyn. Thank you, everyone. And now for a new business, we have our wonderful, I wanted to have Beverly Thomas talk to you for a quick minute. And I know I saw Beverly on the screen. She's going to tell you about an exciting opportunity. Beverly?
All right, thank you, Madam President. Good afternoon. I'm Beverly Thomas, FDW Assistant Treasurer, and currently facilitator for some additional good trouble for FDW. The painful reality of two significant events, the coronavirus pandemic and Black Lives Matter, have raised levels of consciousness and social awareness, causing the Executive Board of FDW to discuss the issues of racial and social injustice. Individual perceptions and perspectives, personal biases, and sometimes lack of understanding of each other as human beings, as well as our personal expectations or indifferences, have been subjects needing discussion. Emotionally, many of us have silently suffered as pandemic prisoners, experiencing anxiety, fear, loss, depression, frustration, and further exacerbated by the anger of Black Lives Matter. The deaths, the protests, police brutality, systemic racism, mass incarceration, the list goes on. The need for honest discussions about racism, diversity, equality, and fairness have clearly resonated as topics requiring courageous conversations. On July 14th and August 11th, during meetings of the FDW Executive Board, time was dedicated specifically to openly talk. We established rules of engagement, committed to listen and respect each other's perspectives, and be honest in our exchanges. We further committed that we would provide a safe space to share our views without fear or reprisal or judgment, and to listen and understand. We believe the courageous conversations have been phenomenal opportunities to express, release, learn, and grow. Therefore, the Executive Board now extends this opportunity to the entire membership of FDW by announcing a virtual Courageous Conversation session. This will be open to all that wish to attend. The date and time and Zoom call information will be confirmed and announced this week. You have a voice. How you're thinking and feeling is important. Now is not the time to be silent. The dialogue is liberating. We invite you to please join us for FDW's Courageous Conversations. As Biden said, let's explore the possibilities. I'm Beverly Thomas. I've had the pleasure of facilitating these sessions. Any questions? Hope to see you soon. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. And we do hope that all of you will spread the word to your neighbors and friends, because it's open to all FDW members as well as friends of yours in the community. We're having courageous conversations to move our country forward and deal with each other on a whole new level. So thank you for that. We're ready now for our guest speakers, and I believe Cheryl Cork is going to do the introductions. Cheryl?
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. We have two great speakers today. Our first speaker will be Cristina Andino, and she joined the Democratic Party of Georgia as a finance assistant following her work as one of the founding members of the Democratic National Committee's Organizing Corp for 2020 program in Atlanta. She's a South Florida native, and she was inspired to move to Georgia after working in real estate in Florida, Arkansas, and Oklahoma to help combat voter suppression and elect Democrats. Cristina recently graduated from Florida International University and lives in College Park with her family. And we welcome Ms. Andino today. Our second speaker We all know him as a Fayette resident along with his wife, Sherelle. And he is like our current Vice President nominee, Kamala Harris, is an HBCU graduate of Morris Brown. HBC stands for Historically Black College and University. He's also a member, as is Kamala Harris, of an Alpha group, his being Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. Mr. Hicks has an MBA from Georgia State. He was awarded the Brooks Community Award for exemplary record in community service and business ethics. He is licensed to sell life insurance, accident, sickness insurance, property and casualty insurance. He's the past chair of the Fayette County Development Authority and the Griffin Judicial Circuit Superior Court Drug Divergent Program. He's the recent past chair of Habitat for Humanity and a trustee of the Young Harris College. Today we welcome Darryl Hicks as the chair of the Fayette Election Board.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Cristina Andino, and I am with the Democratic Party of Georgia. I work as the organizer for Fayette and Coweta County. I'm going to go ahead and put up just a brief presentation, and I would also just like to take a moment to thank the Fayette Democratic Women for inviting me to speak today, and also Cheryl for the introduction as well. So let me pull up my screen. Okay, so I'm just going to introduce you all into our coordinated campaign that we're working. So the Democratic Party of Georgia has invested and ramped up our organizing efforts throughout the state of Georgia. And we are working a coordinated campaign with the Biden and Harris team. So quickly, I am going to welcome you all to our campaign, the strategy that we plan on using, and some next step options that you all can take or anyone in your community can take to plug in and get involved with us. So our goals with our coordinated campaign is to gain insight on our current approach to engaging Democrats across Georgia and understand how we're building an organization to win. Our goal is to also teach volunteers and voters how they can become a part of our campaign. So right now we are in the middle of a very historic election in Georgia, but historic also as nationwide. We have our first female VP as a Democratic nominee, or will presumptively be the nominee. And they are going up against, of course, you know, Donald Trump and Mike Pence. We also have 2 Senate seats up for grabs in November for the election. We have the special election with the Doug Collins, Kelly Loeffler, Reverend Warnock, and Matt Lieberman. And then we also have our Senate election with John Ossoff and Senator David Perdue. So Georgia, for the last 10 years, more so in the last 5 years since the previous presidential election, has been trending Democratic for a while. What we have learned throughout, at least personally throughout my time working with the Democratic Party of Georgia, is that when we compete, we have a chance, and when we organize, we can win. So that's the premise of what we are just trying to accomplish with our campaign. So where we are going, we're focused on thoughtfully engaging supporters and voters to garner support in a virtual world that's tonally appropriate in this crisis. We're talking to key audiences through virtual events, campaign updates such as students, community activist groups, coalitions, faith groups, and many, many more. We're building an organization capable of educating and mobilizing our supporters to vote for the Vice President, Joe Biden, and Kamala Harris in November 3rd. So this is how we plan on getting there. We have 3 phases of our campaign. The first phase is organizing and building. We are building an organization by calling potential leaders in the community and potential volunteers in the community, and just letting them know some of the options and ways that they can get involved and plugged in so that we can contact as many voters as possible. Phase 2 is contacting the voters themselves. Our goal right now is to make sure that every Democrat in the state of Georgia knows how to request an absentee ballot and know how to check the status of their absentee ballot on their My Voter page. And then lastly, our Get Out to Vote efforts. Our Get Out to Vote efforts are circled around making sure that all of these voters have the information that they need, and if they have any issues whatsoever, they can contact the voter protection team, either directly by email or by the phone number, and make sure that they answer any questions that they may have. We're working to build teams across Georgia. We're identifying new and existing leaders to
I think she's frozen.
So right now what we're doing are community calls. There are phone calls that we make to check in on and deepen our relationships with them. We'll guide our supporters to in-person, but primarily online resources in their community as needed, and give them opportunities to hear the campaign updates and take future actions with us. So a lot of what we do are virtual events, and any volunteer can register for and create a virtual event. If anyone has a virtual event they would like to plan and coordinate in mind, I would love to help out in any way possible and let you all or show you all how that you guys can create one online with us. So this is our website, this is the website mobilize.us/Georgia Democrats, where you can sign up for virtual phone banks, or any virtual events that we have. Upcoming, we have our virtual event for the DNC Convention Watch Party, and we are also planning a kickoff. Some of those details I will provide as soon as we get a couple things more concrete by end of today. So when you're talking to voters, this is how the conversations will typically go. You're going to acknowledge the current crisis and the difficult time for our community. We're going to ask them how they and their family are doing. And if appropriate, to continue the conversation, we will ask them about their community, their neighborhood, why they signed up to be a part of Turning Georgia Blue. And if still appropriate, we're going to ask them how they generally want to be included in any virtual events in the future. So virtual organizing events, this is just an example about some of the virtual events that we have done or that the Team Biden, Team Joe has done in the past. Virtual organizing events are a way to engage our existing supporters, build community, and expand our reach while providing a place for supporters to share their stories and connect on issues that matter to them right now in the moment. So again, this is that link, and I will put in the chat following my presentation, all the links that you would need. And again, if you would like to plan a virtual event, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to help in any way or invite fellow Democrats in your area so that we can really engage and maximize our efforts. So these are just some next steps and actions to take and any questions that y'all may have. A few next step actions to take is to reach out to a few people in your personal network and invite them to join the team. You could also join us for a phone bank. We are calling voters 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week, to make sure that they have everything that they need. You could host a virtual event. And for all of this, you can go again to that link, and I'll post that in the chat as well. So are there any questions that you all may have at this time?
And Stella, if you'll please check the chat to see if there are questions that would be in the chat for Cristina.
Yes, I have been reviewing the chat, and there are no questions for her at this time. but she is going to be adding into the chat room the links that she just spoke about, correct?
Yes, I'm going to add those links, and if you, I'm going to also add my email address and my phone number. If you all are interested in phone banking with us, feel free to reach out. And also, if you are interested in joining us for the convention watch party, we are going to be watching the convention unroll this week. So if you'd like to join us for that, feel free to send me an email in that as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, it's my turn.
We're ready. Okay.
All right, so it's my turn. Madam President, thank you so much for allowing me to speak. And Ms. Roberts, thank you for inviting me. Cheryl, thank you for your introduction. It's my honor again to speak with you all. It's a passion of mine to make sure that we educate our community on what's happening around voting. Please know that, you know, we know what's going on and we understand the difficulties that voters are going to face as they did in June in our primary elections. But I would tell you this, that Fayette County did, in my opinion, did an exceptional job. Obviously, we have room for improvement, but we did an exceptional job in comparison to what we were faced with. So I'm going to share my screen with you. And the goal here is to just give you a brief update on, you know, the voting machine process, refresher, if you will, November 3rd election update, and then questions and answers. If you recall, we obviously, you do know we got new machines, but if you recall, the process is fairly simple. You walk into the polling place, you scan your ID, you sign in as a voter, and then your card is produced for you to go vote. You insert your card much like you did in the old machine. The screen comes up. In this new machine, you have the option of selecting some varieties of how the screen looks. But you can then make your selections on that screen. The good thing about this election and the previous election, these new machines will allow you to print out your ballot. And then at that time, you can take your ballot and view it, determine whether or not it's exactly what you want to do once you've printed it. You'll see that here shortly. So you review your ballot. Once you reviewed your ballot, everything's okay. You're ready to cast your ballot. You can cast your ballot by scanning it into the scan box. Here's the thing about the scan box. If you recall, you can scan it right side up, upside down, and even backwards, if you will. The scanner will pick it up. So if you don't want anybody to look at who you voted for, catch a glimpse of it, you can turn it upside down and scan it that way as well. And then there's more information out on the securevoterga.com website where you can get information on how the process works. Now let me go to the slide where we talk about what's happening in elections and our preparations for November the 3rd. As it stands right now, the Secretary of State will not send out absentee ballots to everyone. They've made a decision that they're not going to do that. However, those elderly and disabled voters, elderly being 75 years or older, and disabled voters, if they noted that on their original absentee ballot request form application, they will automatically receive an absentee ballot. If you didn't note it, you'll still have to go out and request the absentee ballot. So if you have any questions about it, you can call the elections office and they'll let you know whether or not you're going to get an automatic absentee ballot. Absentee ballot mailboxes, the drop sites. That's a big deal now, certainly given what's happening at the national level as it relates to the U.S. Post Office and whether or not they have the capacity to make sure that your application is received by our office and your absentee ballot is actually received by you and then returned to the elections office. The State Board of Election has passed rules that has asked all of the county election boards to put out drop boxes. Now, obviously, that's the counties can make the decision as to whether or not they want to do it. As it relates to Fayette County, it has been staff's recommendation, and it's my opinion, and I have not heard anything differently from my colleagues on the board, that we do put out absentee drop boxes, ballot drop boxes. We have a meeting coming up this month. It will be on the agenda, and I expect it to pass. I've had a conversation with both the chairman of the Board of Commissioners and the county administrator to prepare them for this additional cost. One of the challenges that we have to make sure that we cover is the regulations, the rules require that that box be monitored 24/7. And so we have to determine what is the cost of trying to put a camera up and having it monitored 24/7. Obviously, we have to take the ballots out. I think initially their rule was something like take it out every hour or so, which was certainly burdensome. But I believe now the rules are slightly less than that. Maybe you have to take it out by the end of the day. We're still waiting on the State Board of Elections to give us final rulings on that. But I think without a doubt we'll have drop boxes in Fayette County. I just don't see that not happening, and nobody has indicated that they don't want it to happen. When we go through the elections, we will have to continue to deal with the pandemic protocols and making sure that people are safe as they wait in line to vote and enter the voting polling places to cast their vote. Our challenge in some of our precincts is that they're small spaces. So our poll managers and poll workers are doing their very best to try to make sure that we can protect folks from being subject to somebody else who is sick. If we notice that there's somebody in the line who's struggling, we'll ask if we can help them where they're not waiting in line. Poll workers are going to be provided all the necessary equipment that they need in order to function as poll workers. If you recall, and many of you helped, when we had the June election, we had a lot of new people working the polls because our poll workers are elderly poll workers, and rightfully so. They were very concerned about the pandemic and still are concerned about the pandemic and did not want to put their health or even their family members at their home health at risk. And so we needed a lot of poll workers, and many of you stepped up and helped out, and we were able to meet the need. I anticipate that will be the same this year, that we'll have to have poll workers that may not have traditionally been a poll worker. Part of the issue that many of the larger metropolitan county had is that they had poll workers, and at the very last minute they had to put new poll workers in place, and many of them didn't have the expertise of experience, so they might have had challenges. As it relates to Secretary of State indicating that those counties probably were not well prepared or they didn't do a good job training. Here in Fayette County, we've done an exceptional job in training and trying to make sure that our folks are prepared. The machines were an issue, even though there is a common belief that the machines were not an issue. We did have problems with the machine, but we were able to correct them pretty quickly. The other thing that I wanted to note here is that Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated, the alumni chapter out of College Park in East Point, was kind enough to donate 448 mask shields for poll workers. That donation will be used in this November election. And then finally, what I would share with you, and you've heard this already from your elections committee, your political actions committee as well, that the dates that are in front of us, most people don't know that you can actually request an absentee ballot now. The law says that you can request an absentee ballot 180 days before election. However, we won't mail them out until September the 15th. And you've heard Carolyn and many others say that, look, the sooner you can get your absentee ballot mail it in, the better off I think you will be. And you won't get caught up in a massive number of absentee ballots showing up at the same time. Last day to register to vote, you've heard, is October the 5th. October the 12th is early voting. October the 24th is the mandatory Saturday voting. And of course, election day is November the 3rd. And then your absentee ballot must be back into our office by 5 p.m. election day. And with that said, that is my update, Madam President. I'll be happy to answer any questions. I know that there are a lot of concerns about what's happening at the national level that may impact one's ability to get their absentee ballot into our office, which does exactly what I think is intended for it to happen, which is people start to question whether or not their absentee ballot will get in, and then you get pushed to election day. So you can do absentee ballot, but we also have early voting, and I encourage you to do that if at all possible. That is my information, Madam President.
Okay, Madam President, there are a series of questions in the chat.
Yes, and I wanted to say thank you first to Mr. Hicks for his presentation.
Thank you.
There are lots of questions.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Stella, if you just go
yeah.
right ahead. And if we can change the view so that everyone can see each other.
Okay, to start out, and there are some questions and comments in here made by Cristina and Andino, but I'll deal with Mr. Hicks first and then backtrack. The first question for you, Mr. Hicks, is, will early voting be held in the commissioner's meeting room so people do not have to navigate the stairs?
As it stands right now, no. And as you all know, the entire board believes that should happen, that the commissioner's room should be used for early voting. But the county attorney has indicated that there may be some legal reasons why that room cannot be used. In particular, if there are commissioners that are on the ballot, that there could be a voter or a party or somebody out there who could file a lawsuit and say that that election should be dismissed because it was held in that room. Do I personally agree with that? No, I don't, but that's not my position to rule on.
Okay. The next question is, and it goes back to the drop boxes, but I'll pose it anyway. Will additional secure voter drop boxes be available in Fayette County, especially in light of the mail issues?
That is the goal. Absolutely. We are planning on putting out boxes. How many, I don't know, but that is absolutely the goal.
Okay. Okay. There's a question here about requesting absentee ballots. If we request the absentee ballot, will we get one? We will get one, right? Or are we assured of getting an absentee ballot? And I guess the question is timely.
Yeah, no, the election office, and kudos to the staff there. They've done a tremendous job, and every ballot that was requested was mailed out in a timely manner. So I don't have any concerns about if someone requests a ballot, whether or not we will mail the ballot out. Now, if the mail postal service is having an issue, that would be beyond our control.
Okay, and of course, this person can go to my voter page and request an absentee ballot. And it's suggested, and it's been repeated here, do it immediately so that we allow for any issues with slow mail or anything else that might prevent them from getting it.
And the other thing I would say, Ms. Wright, is that if they have any real concerns, they can take the ballot to the election office, and that way they don't have to. They can bypass the postal services.
Okay, this is after they've received the ballot and completed it.
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is something that came up, and I don't think the rules have changed. You indicated that one of the exceptions to having to reapply for an absentee ballot during this election cycle is if you're age 75 or disabled. I think you meant 65.
No, the law actually says 75.
75?
Yeah, the age
Is that on the new ballot applications?
I cannot recall is it on there, but it's in the Georgia code where you have to be elderly is 75 and older, which is the same. If somebody comes to the election polls and want to vote, if they're 75 and older or disabled, they can go to the front of the line and vote. So the law declares elderly as 75, not the retirement age of 65.
Oh, okay. There is another question. Will poll workers be required to wear masks? And will voters be required to wear masks?
So the legal reason, well, first of all, poll workers are going to be required to wear a mask, encouraged to wear a mask. As it relates to a voter, the Secretary of State has said to us that we cannot legally require a voter to wear a mask. But I would tell you this, that certainly during early voting, I think every time I saw a line, everybody had on masks. So people are choosing to wear a mask, but I don't think we can legally tell somebody that they have to wear a mask, because then we are, according to the lawyers, we are singling them out and we may be potentially suppressing their vote.
Okay. The next question, when considering, but actually suggestion, when considering mailbox locations, please remember our seniors and disabled citizens who may find it difficult to access them. Is the Board of Elections taking that into account as to mailbox, drop box locations?
Yes, we will. Ideally, what we would like to do is have something that looks similar to a mailbox where you can drive up and drop it in a mailbox. But I don't know the answer to that yet until we get the final recommendation from staff.
All right. There was a question, a request as to whether or not you can share your slides with the audience today.
Yeah, what I can do is I can send that to whoever Madam President wants me to send it to. I can send it to Ms. Roberts and she can share it, or your preference.
That would be great. Ms. Roberts is fine. Since you've been communicating with her, that would be excellent. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Next question is there any chance that the county will extend early voting hours an additional Saturday?
I believe the way the law is written is that voting on Saturday is at the close of business. And so the question that I normally get is, can you extend it on early voting in general?
Mm-hmm.
We've done it before. I don't know where we will land this time on doing it, but I know we've added some late evening. When I say it normally ends at 5 o'clock, we've added some time where it ended at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, and it might have been the last week of early voting. That's certainly something that we should consider this time as well.
Okay, thank you. Next question. You're very popular, Mr. Hicks. How do the absentee ballots get counted?
So the process is such that you request an absentee ballot, you get it, you mail it back in. We then have to hold that ballot. We note that your ballot has been received. You requested it, we note that. We mailed it out, we note that. We also note that we received it. But we hold that ballot in suspense, if you will, updating the system, but we hold the ballot in suspense. We cannot count that ballot until after the polls close on election day. So we can start counting those ballots I take that back. Election day, the courts have allowed us to open those ballots up early. And in fact, for June, they did a special stipulation where we can open them up 3 days earlier. So we're hoping that they will give us that chance again, because if we're trying to open them up at 7 o'clock or 2 o'clock on election day, we're never going to get them counted. So if the State Board of Elections will rule on it, and I believe they are, that they will allow us to open it up maybe even a week before election day. However, we won't know we'll know the tally of it, but we won't be able to report it until election night.
Okay. I have a question. It's been reported that the State Board of Elections has implemented a rule that allows for the opening of the absentee ballots now 2 weeks before the election, as opposed to talking about the November 3rd election, as opposed to 1 week before. Is that being implemented?
Yeah, that could be the case. I have not seen the last meeting, but that very could be the case. I remember the director telling me that that was being considered.
Okay, okay.
But that will help us out tremendously so that we don't have thousands of ballots to count the day of.
Absolutely. There's a question going back to relocating the voting from upstairs to downstairs. Is there possibly another room on the first floor that can be used?
You know, we look at one of the extension rooms, but obviously, you know, every department has their rooms and they use their rooms for whatever purposes they use them for. If we can, we will. The law requires us. The question also has come up, look, can you do early voting over in the library? Well, library has the same issue of community use the room and they schedule that out. But even if we wanted to do it, we couldn't use the library because the law requires us to have at least one location early voting that is where the Board of Elections is housed, and that's in the county administration building. So if it's in the county administration building, there are very limited rooms there that we can use. Obviously, the Board of Commissioners room is the best room to use. If the other rooms are not being used for some other community function, that's possible.
Okay. Is there any indication as to when the voters would know that there might be an accommodation?
I would say that they should probably keep up with our board meetings, and we have our board meetings the last Tuesday of every month.
Okay.
And even if they don't come to the board meetings, we will post the minutes on our website.
Okay, all right. There was another reported rule implemented by the State Board of Elections approving establishing a new website to request absentee ballots directly, as opposed to just filling out an application for a ballot.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. The process is that they're trying to make it seamless, where you can go to one location and request it. And that website, I believe, if it's not up and running, should be up and running pretty soon. I'm not sure though that website doesn't. You still have to request a ballot, absentee ballot, and it still has to be signed. So I don't think you can electronically go in and request that ballot on the website. They're just trying to make it one location for people to request a ballot. I guess it's no different than my voter page, but it may be easier than my voter page in terms of, you know, entering all the information. But you can't send us an absentee ballot unless it has a signature on it, because we verify signatures.
Okay, so it's not clear yet how that's going to work then.
Not from my perspective.
Okay, all right. There are a few more questions. Can an absentee ballot be, well, you've already answered it. Can an absentee ballot be handed in person at the elections office? And the answer is yes. Okay.
Let me just note here that you cannot have just anybody drop your absentee ballot off. It has to be a family member, and then you have to be disabled. So somebody can't collect absentee ballots and bring them all to the election office and drop them off. That would be illegal. It has to be a family member bringing your ballot in, and you have to be disabled.
Okay. I think this is a question, again, you know, what other large space could be used to facilitate early in-person voting? The elections office is woefully inadequate for long lines. That's the question.
Yeah, our concern as the election board is that not only is that space small, too small, but also the elevators. You know, if we have problems with the elevators, then that become an issue as well. So again, that is a Board of Commissioners decision, not a Board of Elections decision.
Okay. Can you go into the elections office and pick up a ballot if it doesn't come in the mail?
You cannot pick up your ballot. Your ballot will be mailed out to you. You can pick up an application to request an absentee ballot, but you can't physically pick up your ballot in the elections office. It has to be mailed out to you.
Yeah, and then there's a question which, you know the answer to. Can't you track your application for the absentee ballot on my voter page? Yeah, you can. Okay. And then there is, if you are in line to vote, oh, okay, there's a comment. You've already said you can go to the front of the line if you're 75
Or older.
or older.
Or disabled.
Or disabled, okay. Okay. How and when can we show up and lobby for changes to the elections board and the county commissioners? I'm just reading it verbatim.
No. You'd have to go. Their meetings. Each of the entities' meetings are posted on the website. So you would go to those meetings, and doing public comments, you would state your concern. And I'll just reiterate, there is nothing the Board of Elections can do to change that. That has to be a county commissioner change.
Okay. Once a person mails their ballot request in, how long should it take until it shows up on the My Voter page as to its status?
So the law requires us to, okay, I think I may. How long should it take before it shows up?
That it's been received.
Yeah. So once we receive it, the law requires us to, within a reasonable amount of time, to get that entered into the system. So usually within 24 hours, you know that we've received it, it's in the system.
Okay. And the other part of the question was, does one mail the request for your absentee ballot to the local elections office or Secretary of State's office?
I would encourage you to mail it to the local elections office. I would not mail it to the Secretary of State's office.
Okay.
Because that wouldn't do anything but delay it, because they'll have to put it in the mail and return it to us.
Yeah. Okay. If the location and security is an issue, at least for the drop boxes, can the county have them placed in places like City Hall or the library lobby that have cameras already?
That absolutely, those are places we will be looking at.
Oh, okay. Okay. I just have, I think, got a lot of questions here. Okay. How is a provisional ballot counted?
So normally what happens if a person goes to the polls and for whatever reason their name is not listed at the polls, there are a number of reasons why that could be the case, but they know for a fact that they're registered to vote, and they don't have time, or they don't have time to try to figure out, why their name is not listed. We are required, if in doubt, give a provisional ballot. You don't need an explanation for it. You don't need to explain. You just request, I want a provisional ballot. Let's say that person just showed up to the wrong precinct. They are a registered member of Fayette County. They just showed up to the wrong precinct. It's 5 minutes before 7 o'clock. They cannot get to their precinct. What will happen is they will get a ballot that will be a ballot that is countywide, and of course it'll have all of the state, the statewide offices on there. But you may miss your state representative, and you may miss your commissioner, or you may miss your board of election because you're at the wrong precinct. So you'll miss out on that, but you'll at least get a chance to vote for the president, the senators, if there are statewide offices. In this case, we don't have them on this ballot, but I'm sorry, we do. We have PSC members. So you'll get a chance to vote for those. You just won't get a chance to vote for your local delegate. So i.e., if I'm in Charles Russo's precinct and I go to a polling place in South Fayette County, Charles Russo will not show up on that ballot for me if I ask for provisional.
Okay. If an elections office finds a problem with the submitted absentee ballot, does the office try to contact the voter? And if so, how long does the voter have to try to correct the ballot?
Yes, they do. Make every effort to contact the voter by phone call, by telephone, by mail, and they try to get it corrected. You have until election day, close of the polls, to get it corrected. That would be 7 o'clock on election day.
Okay. Okay, just a few more. Who removes the ballots from the extra boxes in the community? I guess she means a drop box. And how are those ballots secured?
Yeah, it'll only be staff in the election office that can remove those ballots, and then they're brought back to election office secured with the rest of the ballots.
Okay. So by the next election, you should move the elections office to the first floor? That's a question.
Again, the answer to that is that it's a commissioner's decision. They'll have to decide whether or not the risk of what the county attorney is saying is greater than the need to have it in that location.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Now let's see.
I thought I saw a question pop up about if a ballot is rejected, what is the process?
Well, okay, you answer it because I must have glossed right over it. What is the process?
So if a ballot is, well, I actually, maybe that was your question that you were asking me. If it's rejected, let's say you submit a provisional ballot, and on election Friday after election day, or I think now it's going to be Monday, we will go through all those provisional ballots. We will send a letter out to you if you, let's say you weren't registered here. We would send a letter out to you saying that you need to bring in your ID to confirm who you are. If you don't bring in your ID to confirm who you are, that ballot is rejected and that does not get counted. If you bring it in and we confirm who you are, then that ballot will count. A lot of rejections for absentee ballot, not absentee ballots, but provisional ballots are because folks, they may be registered in Fulton County and they vote here in Fayette County, or they may be registered. Some people are registered out of state and they vote here in Fayette County. And we'll reject that ballot unless you can show us where you actually registered to vote here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see. If I receive my absentee ballot and have not returned it, can I vote in person?
You can vote in person, but you'll have to bring your absentee ballot with you. We have to spoil that absentee ballot. Otherwise, you'll have to vote provisional. Because what we show is that we've sent you out an absentee ballot. And if it's close to election day, okay, so there's two ways to do this. If you bring your ballot with you, we'll spoil the ballot and we'll let you cast your vote. If you don't bring the ballot with you, the poll worker will have to call the election office and find out whether or not your ballot has actually been inputted in the system. And if it's been inputted in the system, you can't vote. If it has not been inputted in the system, then we'll let you vote provisional.
Okay. And then there was a question, what happens after you get a provisional ballot? And I believe you responded.
You just cast it like any other ballot now.
Okay. How will the Board of Elections communicate the locations for the drop boxes?
We'll do social media. We'll have commissioner meetings to talk about it. We'll send it out to groups like this. We'll send it out to any and everybody. We'll put it in the newspaper to say, here are the location of the drop boxes.
Okay. Now, I'll just read a few more. In response to an earlier question about what happens if you bring an absentee ballot into a polling place, you decide to vote, I guess, by machine, the Board of Elections will destroy that ballot, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And then you're allowed to vote in person?
Yes.
Okay. There's a reference to the My Voter page website, which we always post in all of our presentations lately. I'll just read it. My Voter page, www.mvp.sos.ga.gov/MVP/MVP.do, if anyone caught that. Are you able to know if the machine has been compromised in some way? Voting machine.
Yeah. Are you asking that if is staff able to know? I guess the question may be asking, is staff able to know if someone's tampered with the machines?
Well, I don't know, by using you, would the voter know? That, I guess, either way, would the voter know it's been tampered with, or is it the staff? Would the staff know?
I mean, I don't think the voter would know, if it was tampered with. But if you see, the machine all broken up, then yeah, you probably want to bring that to somebody's attention. But it's not the machine that your vote is counted on; it's the scanner that your vote is counted on. Remember, you put your little card in the machine. You take it out of the machine. You take it out of the machine, but you print a piece of paper that is scanned into a scanner. The scanner is where the vote is captured, and that is captured on a disk inside of the scanner, and that's what we receive back at the office.
Okay. And there are two entries for anyone that has a question or problem with regard to this entire process. They can call the Voter Protection Hotline at 888-730-5816. And there's also the Georgia Democrats website, www.georgia.org. Can people be picked up and driven to drop off their ballots?
Sure. They can get anyone they want to bring them to the office to drop the ballot off.
Okay.
As long as it's them and
Okay.
someone else is not dropping it off for them.
Okay. Okay, let's see. There's a question again about provisional ballots. If they're used, they need to be verified by the voter at the elections office. By the voter? Has that changed?
Only if there's a question about who they are. Let's say that they did a provisional because, they didn't have ID with them. As long as they show that ID before we certify the vote, then their provisional ballot will be counted.
Okay.
But if it's just because they're in the wrong precinct and they've shown their ID, that provisional ballot will be counted.
Okay. Let's see. There'll be a huge turnout for the election. Will there be enough machines to help address the long wait in lines?
Well, I think we have plenty of machines. In fact, I think the law is written such that it is our handicap because the law says that we have to have 250, for every 250 voters, we have to have a machine in place. So in some cases, we may have 20 machines in place, but you'll never have enough people in that precinct to use those 20 machines because the law makes you count 100% of your voters. So I don't think machines are going to be our issue this time. If it is, then there's something we've done drastically wrong. It may be that you can't get in there because the space is so small.
Okay. How many
time for maybe two more questions, please? Time for two more questions.
Okay, thank you. Can you recall how many provisional ballots you got last election?
I don't know the number, but it was significantly more than what we got in previous elections.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people were just confused, and a lot of them were that people voted out of county.
Okay. And one last question. Is there going to be a recruitment drive for more poll workers? And are they paying them and recruiting as they are in Atlanta?
If I understand the question, it would be my guess that if the coronavirus continues to persist and folks are nervous about being a poll worker, it's my belief that we're probably going to have to recruit more poll workers. And then we do pay those poll workers an hourly rate. We do pay those poll workers a rate on election day, and then different rates based on the level that they're working at the polls.
Now, there were some questions in between before you did your presentation that we didn't get to that are directed at Cristina Andino. And I'd have to go back in here to, do we have her web address and her contact information again? Are you still on the line, Miss Andino?
Yes.
Okay, could you please give us your contact information for those participants who had some questions directed at Georgia Democrats?
Absolutely. I believe I pasted it here, but I'll copy and grab it.
Yeah, she did place it in there, so we do have her contact information.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and so are we going to be uploading the Q&A for the attendees to get that information, or?
Going to hopefully save the chat so that we have all the questions. And if we discover that there was a question, a burning question that didn't get posed to one of our speakers, we'll forward it to them. And if they have an opportunity, they will certainly respond to the question, and we will make sure that answer gets distributed to everybody.
All
because
right.
we want everybody to be informed.
Okay, Cheryl has her hand raised.
Yes. Mr. Hicks, can you assure, is this going to be okay?
As it relates to what?
The whole process, is it going to be okay? I mean, how confident are you that this is going to go well for the voters as well as the election board counting the ballots?
Yeah.
Please give us some.
Sure. Look, I would say to you this, as it relates to Fayette County and the poll workers and the staff, I am fairly comfortable with our abilities to carry out this election. I really am. I do not sense from anybody in the elections office, or even for that matter, anybody on the board of elections or board of the commissioners, that they do not want a fair and a fair election process and that everybody gets a chance to cast their vote. What I cannot assure you of is what's going to happen with the national debate around the postal services and those things. And since I can't assure you of that, I would encourage you to do what your members have said already, which is get your absentee ballots early, get them in early. If at all possible, drop them off. If at all possible, drop them in the drop box. Once it gets in our control, I'm comfortable with the process.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Hicks.
Yeah, more than welcome. Thank you for the opportunity, as always, to speak with you. And you guys are really great. And I can appreciate your due diligence around what goes on in this community. So kudos to the Fayette Democratic women. You guys are on the ball.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. The chairperson, LaChance Roberts, did you want to make a final comment to our two wonderful speakers?
Yes,
You're
I
muted.
did.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, Madam President. To Cristina and to Darryl, we appreciate so much your time, your energy, and everything that you've given us. We are all in the process of educating ourselves and being fully informed. And certainly you have given us that kind of information today. So again, kudos to you too for being here, for allowing us to ask you the questions, the burning questions that are with us. Thank you. Thank you so much. From the president and from every member, we appreciate your being here.
You're welcome.
Thank you both. Thank you both so much. Are there any announcements before we adjourn the meeting? Any announcements? There is a lot of information that you were given, a lot of websites and email addresses and phone numbers. Please be assured that that information will be available to you in writing at our social media outlets, at our website, in eBlast. You will have a chance to see it again because some of it was really fast and you may not have been able to scribble it all down at one time, but we will get it to you. If there are no announcements, is there any more business to come before the body? Any more business to come before the body? Okay. Then before I adjourn the meeting, I will ask that all members of the executive board If you are able, please stay on the call after I adjourn the meeting. So all members of the executive board, please stay on the call for just about 5 minutes after we adjourn the meeting. If there's no other business to come before the body, the meeting is adjourned. And thank you so much, everybody, for wonderful attendance. Wonderful, wonderful. Excellent questions. Thank you, Ms. Andino. Thank you, Mr. Hicks.